Hola from the west side. It is me, DC the Purple Diva. Welcome to Not So Random Chat. Happy Tuesday, y'all. I'm checking in. You know, I know I haven't been consistent like I should be with my every night. But y'all, it's hard sometimes. It's hard sometimes. But I'm trying to get better. So, I hope that you guys forgive me for slacking off just a little bit. Hey, 1SP, thank you. Thank you so much, sir, for liking and sharing. I am also going to like and share my own, and I'm going to let people know that I'm on because I know how these YouTube notifications are sometimes. You know, I try to give y'all like 30 minutes before I come on, but when I come on in the middle of the night, for most of y'all, let's see, come on through. I can't spell, y'all. Okay, there we go. Come on through. So I posted it out there. I am doing well. I am doing well. I am blessed and highly favored by the Most High. It's the way I see it. You know, despite how things look around us, I always know that the one above keeps everything in control. Hey, Angels Army. Happy Tuesday. How are things in the AZ? Are you guys getting better with control of this unfortunate plague that we're currently dealing with? Hey, Adelina. How are you? Thank you for coming. Thank you for coming. Please don't forget to hit that like button. As everyone says, it helps me in the algorithm. But I am actually working on some stuff offline. I am working on a couple of videos. And, that's the challenge outside of my live stream. See, live streams, when we do these, this is content that I'm just putting up on the spot. Yeah, I know it's still hot. It was hot here in SoCal, and now it's starting to cool off, so it's starting to get a little overcast. And they're predicting that it's going to start off a cooler August for us than it was at end of July because it's pretty hot, and we've had a few fires in Southern California doing all of this. Wearing uniforms on Zoom? I don't know. Are some schools requiring them to do that when they're going to school from home? I don't see the point of them, I don't think it makes a difference as to whether they have on their uniforms or not. My concern is that they're going to be learning close to what they would be learning if they were in a classroom setting. That's what my fear is that they're not going to learn the way that they should. And I know schools here um, are going to be starting school in 2 weeks online. Um, Los Angeles Unified School District and some of the other school districts nearby finally came to some type of consensus in regards to online school. But here's the issue: 90% of the students, and I'm just talking about in Los Angeles Unified School District, don't have what they need to start the school year, i.e., internet connection and a laptop, or, you know, one of those, or iPad, whatever's cheaper or whatever's better. Personally, I think they should all have, you know, iPads or something like that, because first of all, they're a little harder to hack into, and but they're more expensive. But they need to have it, and I think the schools should furnish them. You know, little fact: when I went to Bermuda several years ago, that was one of the things that fascinated me about the island of Bermuda, that all of the kids had school issued laptops. Now, granted, I know that Bermuda is, I believe, under the UK. And, you know, but in this current age, and you guys, this was not like 2 years ago. This was about 10 years ago in Bermuda. 10 years ago in Bermuda, all the kids had laptops issued by school. What does that say about here, where these kids were actually going to school and had laptops issued by the schools that they could take home, you know? And it takes a plague for us to bring our education into the computer age, for all of our kids to have computers, you know, laptops, you know, whatever in their home, and internet access, hopefully. But why did it take this? Why was this not something that was standard in schools before? Because I can tell you, if it had been standard in schools before in the United States, it would probably make transitioning to online education easier for the students, because they could have, you know, I know there's schools give that were giving homework and stuff online, but that wasn't every school. You know, they didn't have that. That should have been something that was in place. There should have been an online component of education for the kids all along. Do you know why? Because our kids have always had the internet. It's always existed for them. And we, as a society, I'm just saying, as a society here in the United States, need to make sure that all kids know how to code. Hell, adults need to know how to code. I'm talking about coding, computer coding. I mean, I'm just saying, we've never pushed, you know, STEMs, science, math, and technology. And here we are. Hey, Joe. Hey, Bunny. I watched the replay of your early morning talk with Kizzy. I missed everybody's lives today, y'all. I was really working. I missed Cookie too. I watched her replay too. But it's really the truth. Our education system in the United States overall sucks. And I'm talking about the, the part that is actually, what everybody should have, which is at least a high school education. But our kids are lacking. A school district like LAUSD, where 90% of the students don't have that, no internet or computers, so they're not prepared for online learning. Because here's a fact that I think some people don't really want to deal with is that what if this is not a short-term situation? What if this becomes a long-term situation that our kids are being educated online at home and teachers are at home teaching them? It's going to be a different world. And we all know that there have been some kids that have been going to school online for years. Here in California, they've had, K through 12 where the kids could do public school online for at least 10 years. Because they have the, choose the way you want to be educated kind of stuff out here. Times for mommies to fire up that OnlyFans and start dancing for a laptop. Jack you out. You crazy. No, but as much as our tax dollars pay for this so-called education that our kids get, we should have had kids with school issued laptops, and I'm talking about they're issued to them obviously at the beginning of the school year, or maybe they issue them one when they start like first grade, and then they have that one in elementary school. Then when they go to their next school, middle school, they're issued one, because this is something that should have been going on. Our kids are very computer literate. They're always in their cell phones. They're always on social media. They know more. They have more of an aptitude for computers than we think. And this would include special education students that perhaps are on the autism spectrum. I'm not saying with all special ed, because it depends on that. And with a child on the autism spectrum, it really depends on their attention span. And they're going to have someone there at least to help them. And this is where it's a challenge for many parents, because they've got to choose between working or educating their children. Because I don't know many 6-year-olds that are going to sit in front of a computer without someone making sure they sit in front of a computer to do their classwork. Because the teachers in the computer can't yell at them to come back in the room and make them come back in the room if they decide to go out the room because mommy went to work and there's no, and the babysitter feels it's not her job. It's going to be a challenge. If my son were still in school, because I already work from home, I'd figure it out for me. But for the parents that don't work out of the home or only are working out of the home, part-time and still have to go into the office now that a lot of employers have opened back up, to some degree. I feel for parents. I feel for these children. I mean, my son has had access to computers since he was like 5 or no, actually, I take back 7. Yeah, because that's when I actually got him a computer. Yeah, but he's an only child, and I was able. And a lot of the schools have computers in the classrooms when they're in school, but it's shared computers. That's still not the same. My suggestion, hey, maybe this is where the funding from the Department of Education with Betsy Voss, who doesn't know anything about public education, could come in and make sure that every school district in this entire country has the funding to issue laptops to every child, and that they have the funding to make sure that these kids have internet. And the internet companies need to donate free internet in underserved communities so these kids have internet. Because if the parents could pay for internet, don't you think they would have it already? I'm just saying. Hey, uppity unicorn. I'm just talking about what's going to happen with our kids' education this year. I'm not even a teacher. I'm just a parent of someone who's already finished with school. But I have a heart for the kids. Education is power. It's power. If they're not properly educated, then they can't take the next steps in life. And, that's my opinion. And yeah, I can say that I don't think that my son was properly educated because they didn't know how to educate him. So that's why he's not able to take the next steps in life the way he should be able to. That's why it's my job to now educate him on things that they didn't teach him in school. But in thinking about all of the kids that are going to be going to school online this year, and what their education experience is going to be like for the foreseeable future, it's going to be scary for many because everyone can't hire a tutor to be there with their kids to make sure that they're getting their stuff. Everyone doesn't have that access. They don't have the money. But yet and still, this is the way things are going to go. Mommy clout chasing Gucci for instead of Gateway for her children. Not this mommy. All you need to have is a couple of expensive items in your wardrobe, ladies. And then you can dress up some less expensive items, because what's the point of having $1,000 purse if your kid doesn't have the things that he needs or she needs for school this year? But you got that $1,000 purse. That's what you spent your stimulus check on? Because at this particular point, we do not know when school's going to go back to normal. Even though some schools in some parts of the country are going to try, but as how many parents are going to be feeling comfortable sending their kids to school? Now, granted, there's some parents that are fighting. They want their kid in school because they're not getting the best education, and with the internet, because they're not happy with what happened this spring, because nobody was prepared. None of them were prepared for it. Even the ones who thought they were prepared. You know, spring semester for most kids sucked, especially for those who were graduating from high school. I hope most of them had got all of their education needs in, you know, as far as what they actually needed by fall semester. Like for me, when I was in high school, I had all my credits to graduate my junior year. I think I only had a couple of classes I needed to take senior year, but my mom made me take a full load because she wasn't having it. She was not having me being out of school half a day. And she wasn't going to let me graduate early either. But I don't know. Because, you know, like when I was in high school, I did all the lead work and everything to make sure that I got what I needed myself. And I'm hoping that at least our high schoolers will take that initiative. But it's harder for our younger kids. It's really the parents' responsibility, you know, partnering with their teachers to make sure that their kids get their education. That's the way it's going to be. And sadly, it should have been that way before. Hey, Terry. All right, Jack. Thank you for coming. Thank you for coming, Bunny. I appreciate you for coming as well. Appreciate you guys showing love. Now, this weekend was it? I think it was Sunday. I think it was Sunday. There was a private party in, I guess, the Hills, Hollywood Hills area of Los Angeles, and somebody got shot. There was no social distancing or anything at this particular private party. Now, here's the problem that I see. Because this party was on private property in someone's residence and not in a public place, the police could not say anything about these people having a bunch of people in there, not social distancing, not wearing masks. And I know that the mask can't protect you from everything. And it's probably not a deterrent, you know, if you aren't taking other precautions with yourself. You know? I know, Terry, I know. You working crazy hours and you know, I was supposed to be moving, then I'm not moving right now. I mean, I'm going to move, hopefully soon. But and then I was exhausted with the rehearsals. So it was just, I don't know what was going on. And then a couple of nights I had insomnia, but I didn't come on and do a live. I couldn't sleep, but I didn't come online and just get on here with y'all. I mean, I could have done that and made and grinded out some hours, couldn't I have? But it's like when I'm in insomnia, it's like I'm just kind of restless. My mind was restless, but I wasn't like in a talking mood. So, and, you know, doing this is something that I enjoy doing, but I don't want to just get on here. I know some people do the silent lives. I'm going to try to do some, y'all. I am, because I really do want to get to my 4,000 hours eventually. Because this month, August, is the month that I actually started doing my actual videos and vlogs. I don't know what the exact date was. Let me see. I forget what the date of my first vlog was. It was something in August, though. It was some day in August, y'all. Let me just see. I'm going to look, even though I'm on live right now. It's on my homepage. I think it was... No, I can't see the date. It's hidden. But it was in August. So I am officially, at least as of today, this month, it'll be officially a year that I've actually been utilizing my channel. Because I've actually had the channel since 2009. And I actually started the channel. Well, you know how that happens. When you get an email with Gmail, they automatically give you access to YouTube. So that's how it happened way back then. And now, I think every Gmail account that I have, and I have several, could have a YouTube account, but I don't have time for all that. I want to get this where it needs to be, and then maybe I'll just do a channel that's just doing live streams and make it into a talk show thing. I don't know. But for me, I think I could just do this all on one channel. Because I did used to do a radio show, and I am seriously considering doing that again. But I just gotta figure out where I'm gonna do it. And it was on the internet. But the thing is that I like to play music that, artists do that's copywritten. And so you have to either be on an internet radio station that is paying the fees so that you can play whatever artist you want. That's BMI, ASCAP, and CSET. Yeah, I know all of them. All of them. And a lot of these internet radio stations where people are doing their podcasts and playing music and everything, they're having to pay that out themselves because a lot of them don't do it. The one that I was on did it because they were actual real, like local radio station that just happened to go on the internet because they were doing the internet back then when nobody was doing internet radio. And I did it because, I have a radio voice, as they say. So I did that for, 10 years. It was called Vibing with DC. And I'm thinking about resurrecting it. Trying to resurrect some stuff. So we'll see how that goes. Because I don't know, you guys. I don't want to play, I don't want it to be a talk show if I do internet radio. This will be my talk show. When I get on here and kind of share myself with you guys and just talk about different things with you guys, check in with y'all and let y'all know that all is well with DC. And, this is where I'll share knowledge of things that I'm learning and do collabs with other people like Terry and Uppity Unicorn and other people. Some people that, you know, do have autism channels, do some autism collabs, all that stuff. That's the kind of stuff I can do in the live streams on here. It would be nice to do that like as a podcast or do a series of podcasts on autism, but I don't know. So Terry, how is working the night shift at work going for you? And how is your house hunt going? For me, I wish this is what I wish, you guys. I wish right now I was where I feel that I need to be to buy a piece of property to either live in or rent. I wish I was there right now, like everything, but next year, and hopefully everything, the rates and everything will stay where they are, because I just want to have more money to put down so that I don't have to get MI if I don't have to. But there's a lot of people out there buying right now, and a lot of people are refinancing right now. And also, people are doing midnight moves right now because they can't afford where they live. Because, the eviction waivers are gone. So even though people don't have jobs, now landlords can start to go after them in certain parts of the country. And people are doing midnight moves from wherever they live, putting their stuff in storage or camping out with family. It's madness going on. And I personally feel, as I always tell you guys, that the way our country is right now is because of the leadership of our country, or lack thereof. And although he keeps trying to put out this narrative that he's doing all he could, he does not take responsibility for his lack of action at the beginning of this and his blaming of the other party. This is Joe Biden's race to lose at this point. All he has to do is not screw it up, and he'll probably get some votes that were red. You know, it's definitely starting to be a shakeup in the already blue state of California. In areas that were red, they're starting to flip. So it's starting to look purple over there. My favorite color. My favorite color. I know this is cliche, you guys. But those of you who are in the United States and do have the ability to vote, I'm going to say make it your business to vote, because there's a lot of stuff that's going on as a result of these global issues, you know, healthcare, you know, and this president is not helping us and doesn't care about that. He doesn't care about his citizens. He doesn't care about, us being here to vote. He don't care. My opinion. Oh, your phone was buffering for a few minutes? No, I was asking you, um, how is working the night shift? And I was also asking you, how is your house hunting going? My house hunting, it's going along, shall we say. Um, I'm still waiting to hear what's really going on about the one that we thought we might be moving to, and whether that's still going to happen. But in the meantime, I'm looking at other options, because I still have to go with my spirit, and yeah, it's going to be more expensive because our needs, you know, everything costs more. And especially, with all of the things that are happening, in the area that I live in, i.e., SoFi Stadium, everything is much more expensive. So it's a challenge, but we're doing our best. Oh, I'm glad everything's going well for you. I think we're going to I think everything is going to work out the way it needs to work out for us. Yeah, I really like that particular place, and you know, but if that's not where we're supposed to be, then God's going to show us where we are supposed to be. That's just, how I roll. You know, I'm listening to the Most High, in my decisions, because it's ultimately about making the right decisions as far as, you know, meeting my son's needs. That's definitely a part of everything. And one of the things I can tell you is that he needs to have a yard. You know, Although he's not a kid, but he needs that kind of space. He needs more space. You know, because it's tough. Kind of being trapped around the house. And y'all can hear him in the background. I mean, all of this is kind of like he doesn't even have a sleep pattern at this point. We're trying to get him back on one, because I think that, hopefully, since schools are opening back up, hopefully his services will come back to life. I don't know, sometime this year. Because I, I hate the fact that he's not able to do anything right now. That's the way that he needs things to be as far as production. So I'm going to have to start making some things for him to do, getting some finding some things to help him, with learning and everything, the things that he needs to know for self-sufficiency myself, while we're waiting around for whoever and whatever to restart their services. This is, you know, what I'm dealing with, and thankfully he's got a parent to be there to make sure those things are happening for him. There are other adults on the autism spectrum who during this time may be in group home situations. They may be homeless, you know. God only knows. And there may not be anybody to do welfare checks for them. Especially those who are less verbal than my son. I mean, I remember I told you guys, like, just around the statistics in regards to police brutality and law enforcement with people who are considered atypical in, what I like to call neurodiversity. But it's a reality that they have a harder time. They have a harder time getting jobs, keeping jobs, having stable housing. If they don't have someone, if they don't have a parent who's making sure things are the way they should be, you know. Let me see. But something has to be done. Something has to be done because I know it's not just here where I am that you have adults on the autism spectrum who are not getting the services. It's everywhere. So I don't think that it's just it's just my son. I just think that it is unfortunate, and I just think that nobody is, in a position to figure out how to fix this with and also make sure that everyone is safe. You know, because a lot of the programs that they have out there are to help individuals on the spectrum to be able to take care of themselves, to be able to, at some point, make a living, or at least partially, get some type of income in. But again, we're in the middle of the situation that we are currently in, and that means that they've got to come up with more innovative ways. Yeah, go ahead, babe. They have more innovative ways, you know, for them, because for the most part, they're stuck in the house if they have a house to be in, or they're stuck in a group home if they're in a group home, or they're stuck on the streets. But in all cases, they're getting no services. Services that are theirs, you know, that they should be getting. Money's there. Trust me. You have to beg for it when they're adults. It's like what I'm doing right now. Like there is another $2,000 to $3,000 a month of money that my son should be getting. But I'm going through the process of begging for this money for him and see if I can get at least most of it. You know, there's a portion of it that's harder to get because they have in California what they call in-home support services. And I know they have that in other parts of the country. And basically, in-home support services, at least in California, is money that is paid to the parent, who is whoever is the one who is going to be who is the caregiver. And then from that point, the parent can take that money and they can establish that it's going to go to someone else. But it's basically money that they get for whatever they need to assist their adult child with life. Like driving them to whatever appointments they have to go to. You know, making sure that they eat, making sure that they wash their behind, you know, making sure that they go to bed on time, you know, doing all of the things that a parent or a caregiver, you know, did until they turned 18 because they were legally obligated to. Now, I'm no longer legally obligated to do anything that I do for my son. However, I am morally obligated and I am spiritually obligated because this is my child, you know, who I gave birth to. But I know there are parents there are autism parents who once their kid is 18, they don't want to have nothing else to do when they feel like they've done what they needed to do and they're free. And they're happy if they go to a group home. I'm not one of those parents. I'm not one of those parents. And you know why? Because I've seen the nightmares that they call group homes for people who have disabilities. I've seen the nightmares. I've seen the way that they treat some of these people. They don't treat them like humans. And I don't want that to be my son. So as long as I'm living and able, that won't be. It won't happen. And I'm going to make sure that it doesn't happen even when I'm not living. All things that drive me to get the information out to you guys about autism, to make sure people know that autism does not end at age 18, that the individuals that you see with autism as children become adults with autism. And not everyone who becomes an adult with autism, you know, they don't just suddenly learn how to take care of themselves. Many of them need assistance for a while or forever. You know, but it's real. Hey, travel around. Um, there is an amount that they pay because basically what okay, so for my son, what his in-home support services is a number of hours. And basically for him it's considered 24/7 that's needed. So that there's no way that they can give you 24/7. So they give you like some crazy amount of hours. That's the closest that they can give you to that. But some people have to fight to get this additional money because they don't want to give it to you. They won't give it to you unless you ask for it. And then you have to prove that you're doing everything to them by literally telling them how long it takes each and everything that you do. If I help him with washing his clothes, I have to put that in there. If I help him with getting into the shower, if it takes him an hour to take showers on average, that's what I'm putting in there. Those kind of things. Because everything is about how much time it takes for you to assist them. And this is the way that, California comes up with their calculations. Because it's the state of California that determines that. But again, I'm dealing with the adult side. My son's education days are over. So I don't have to worry about, is he going to be able to learn on a computer? Is he going to be able to sit in front of the computer? But there's thousands, hundreds of thousands of parents around this country who have children on the autism spectrum, be they considered quote unquote high functioning and they're in a mainstream classroom, or be it they're in special education. When online education happens, everybody's going online, even those who will have difficulty with learning online. And it's not just special education children who have difficulty learning online. Younger children tend to have difficulty with that because, again, they also have shorter attention spans. Generally, when you're dealing with children on the autism spectrum that are in special education, it's because of their, a lot of them have shorter attention spans and they need more one-on-one assistance. How are they going to get that with online education? These are the questions that the school districts need to be thinking about as they're rolling all of this out. I know that they're talking about it, so I know that they're thinking about their special education students. Because if my son was still in school, y'all think I talk about this a lot. I would talk about it even more if my son was still in school. I would be that squeaky wheel. I'm that person. And I'm hoping that there are special education parents that are those people too. Because that's what they're going to have to do. They're going to have to be the squeaky, squeaky, squeaky wheel to make sure that their son or daughter's needs are met virtually for education. I'm just looking to see what you guys are saying. But just, I think I put it in portrait. Never mind. But just looking at how things are going to roll, I'm going to wait. I'm going to see how things are going. I have friends who are teachers in various parts of the country. So I will be checking in with my friends. Obviously I'll check in with the ones who are in the Los Angeles school district because it's the second largest school district in the country next to the New York school district. And so obviously I want to see how these two very, very large school districts handle this. But it'll be interesting to see how some of the smaller districts do that also have a large demographics of students who do not have laptops or internet access in their homes or did not have it. Will they all be able to meet the needs of these kids as far as them being able to have that? I mean, it's kind of critical. It should be part of what kids get when they go to school. for their free public education. They should get a free freaking laptop to do their work on. And it's their laptop, you know. Schools should supply their first laptop. I'm just saying. Just like they're doing right now. Because if the school districts think they're getting any of these laptops back, they're not loaning them. They're giving them to their students. Once they go to their students' homes, they're gone. Now, yes, the kids are going to be using it to learn on. But best believe they're going to be using it for other stuff too. They are. Because that's how kids operate. Especially if we're talking about those that are in high school. You know. But having the school issued computers that hopefully all of our kids will now have, or at least the majority of our kids will now have, what that's going to do, at least from a technology standpoint, it's going to be putting more of these kids on an even footing. It's going to put them on an even footing. Because I don't know if you guys look at it, but a lot of the jobs that are out there now require computer skills of some sort. So if our kids grow up with computers, then when it's time to go into these jobs with computers, it won't be foreign to them. It won't be like the first time they've ever seen one. You know, I mean, because for most of us who are of a certain age, there was a time when we remember there weren't computers in our offices, or, you know, it was just the CRT, you know, terminals. And it wasn't a network. Each computer was separate, you know. They didn't network them together. Didn't have all of that. Let's see. Well, it looks like we're almost to an hour, you guys. Let me come on here so you guys can see me. I know my son's gonna come running over here though. Let me see. Where's my camera? Hey, everybody. David's coming over here. I promise you he is. Come on, come on, come on. Come on. Here he comes. Stick your head in. There you go. See, there he is. Saying hi. Mm-hmm. All right, you gonna get off? Okay. All right. I love you too. Okay, cool. Thank you guys for coming through. I appreciate it. And I am trying to be better and be back to my consistent self of being on here. I'm trying to get back to it. It's just been a lot going on. That's why y'all keep seeing me on my phone, because, yeah, I'm not even on the computer. Thank God for mobile. But I will see you guys. Tomorrow's Wednesday. I should be on here tomorrow. I'll try to come on earlier. Not like 1 o'clock in the morning for you guys on the East Coast. But until tomorrow, I offer you guys peace and blessings from the West Side. Everybody be safe. You know, keep up your social distancing. Keep your friend circle small. Okay? At least right now, y'all. All right. See y'all tomorrow. Peace.